So welcome to the first webinar on behalf of the TRINITY Project. This is a webinar step-by-step guide to basically support you to apply to our call. Let's of course go with the agenda that you should see right now, I hope. I will introduce our speakers today. Will be the project coordinator of TRINITY, that is Minna Lantz. She will take you through the very basic, the concept, the background of TRINITY. Then you're gonna be introduced what we have to offer to you. Afterwards, we're gonna move on to the open call itself, how to apply very practical information. At the very end, you're gonna hear how we can support you in case you would like to build a consortium or over our extra knowledge that we won't be able maybe to cover everything today.
All right, so let's start. Welcome to the TRINITY webinar, and like Eva said, my name is Minna Lantz. I'm the coordinator of the project, and at the first, I want to tell you a little bit on the background and the setting and the framework. What is the TRINITY and what we are looking forward to achieve? So as you noticed, the normal picture, what you can see from the industrial revolutions. So every time there has been an industrial revolution, something new has been invented. It usually takes the next generation to reap the benefits from the found technologies. And now that we move to the fourth industrial revolution, since 10 years, this has been as a hot topic on the research and development. So today we want to create systems more smart, the automation solutions more flexible and human-friendly, and fast to adapt to the changes in the production. The industrial revolutions is that at this point we need to be the ones who are actually implementing new solutions so that the next round can then use and reap the benefits from the existing technologies. So the TRINITY starts with the development of possible solutions that will help companies to make the production more agile. And our theme is that we want to use robotics, ICT and cybersecurity to help to make or increase the agility of the companies. Our focus is not the large companies, but it's more like the supply network of these large companies. The supply network, which is almost 90% is SMEs. And while the big companies can, of course, put a lot of effort to the R&D technologies, have new equipment, emerging technologies in their own factories, the supply network is a completely different story. While the large companies can show the direction, it's still the mass which is staying behind. And our setting is that we want to improve the SMEs' capabilities to adopt emerging technologies. Next, Eva, please. So what we want to help the SMEs actually is to make the lot size 1 economically feasible. And that's the surrounding idea for the TRINITY project. Yes, so we have emerging technologies. I guarantee that when we increase the robotics and the automation solution, we can increase the product quality and production capacity. That's the main reasons why we want to use the robotics. Not exactly replacing the human, but taking the capabilities of the automated systems into account in future. With the ICT and AI, we can increase the visibility of the network. We can shorten the overall production time by using the new technologies. We can see where there is the non-value added time accumulating. And one of the key topics from the Trinity, from the solutions, is that how we are going to reduce the non-value added time. So if you are viewing the production generally in the Europe, from the order to the delivery, the value added time is between 1% and 5%, and rest is waiting time. And this waiting time is something what we want to tackle with the new technologies as well. Then the third building block is that in future we expect that the population is decreasing. That will happen to the Europe, especially in Finland and other northern countries, that the population is decreasing. And in future, we will have challenges to find the correct resources to work in our industry. Of course, there's the problem also that the interest towards the engineering topics is declining from the students' perspective. So while we have less people born in Europe, we also have a diminishing interest towards the technical sciences and engineering in general. So meaning that we will have challenges to acquire needed resources in future. We can of course, please go back. We can of course use the robotics to mitigate the gap, but what is more important is that how we are going to collaborate among the networks so that we can have the benefits from the industrial ecosystems. We can learn from each other. We can actually start sharing resources, perhaps the machines, also the expertise in future. And these are the three the building blocks what we will have in Trinity. So next, please. So the Trinity as a consortium, our project is, the core consortium is illustrated here. We started last year the project, and the project will run until the end of 2022. So the next, please. What is important from the Trinity side is that we have actually three main objectives. So the first one was that coming from the Commission and the science politics, that we want to create a network of digital innovation hubs to facilitate the knowledge transfer and exchange of expertise in Europe. So we want to benefit from the ecosystems, and we actually want to build the ecosystems. The ecosystems have to be sustainable. So it's not only one project, but what we are looking for is that we want to build the ecosystem around the Trinity and the other projects in such a way that after 22, we still have access to the expertise and we can actually collaborate one way or another. And the third objective of the Trinity is that for the companies, this might sound a bit far from your daily operations. So in order to make the Trinity as a project interesting and worth of effort for you, is that we want to deliver the critical mass of use case demonstrations where we are using the emerging technologies in the fields of robotics, ICT, and cybersecurity to improve the agility of the production. So new technologies and less non-value added time. And that's our recipe for the success of the European SMEs. Okay, next please. The Trinity is organized in such a way that we have these core digital innovation hubs around the regions at this moment in the starting phase. What we are building is the regional network. Then we are building the regional hubs and finally connecting them to the TRINITY platform. The TRINITY platform is now under development, so we are building the digital access point where we want to offer different matchmaking possibilities. We want to share knowledge about our solutions in a form of online catalog. We want to provide online training materials for the technologies what we have found and tried in this project and later on in the other projects as well. For the companies, we offer two very concrete collaboration interaction methods. One is, of course, the deep dive workshops, what we are offering. So we are running the deep dive workshop during the project. This means that we will open our laboratories and show that how we did establish our demonstrator, how it works, and you can test it. Then the more important probably for you is that we want to increase the number of experiments or these use case demonstrations by open calls. So we are actually offering 8.1 million euros for prototyping activities during this TRINITY runtime. Okay, next please. The concept and approach for increasing the knowledge of the companies are indeed the concrete examples of used technologies to solve well-defined problems. So this is not a research or scientific project. This is actually nice engineering project where we are building new lines, cells, solutions, testing them and actually providing the well-documented specification on what we did. We also plan to offer the education packages so that these experiments or the demonstrations could be replicated. The idea is that while we have target over 50 modular use case demonstrations during the TRINITY runtime, all of these use cases are built out of the modules. And these modules could be used as a Lego blocks. And that's our intention. The modules will be on the field of robotics. That's our focus. Then, of course, there's no movement without the control and the surrounding systems. So the IoT, ICT is key part of the development, and also the cybersecurity, because in future the cybersecurity will be even more important topic for the SMEs. Okay, next please. This is an example of, for example, the use case. The video will be shared and the modules will be shared. This is an example of Tampere University use case where we developed depth-based sensor, the depth-based analytics for the safety system. So we have the depth sensor and then we are monitoring the workspace or the work volume with the sensors, then using the projector to highlight information to the user and providing a projector-based user interface. And then, of course, it was done with the HoloLens as a comparable solution. But these three modules are belonging to one use case. And these are the ones that we will offer for free in TRINITY. So in TRINITY, some of these modules are open sourced and some of them, of course, are under the licenses. But these are examples that what could be done and could be replicated in a concept level, if not in a code level. Okay, next, please.
Oh.
And of course, the video, hopefully this shows, but this is just a video showing that how it works. On the right bottom corner, there was this depth map, the analytics part, and on the upper level, there were the use cases or the user studies. Okay, next, please. The Trinity alone is not big or important in that sense. Of course, it's important for us and those who get the funding. But the bigger scheme is that there is a lot of sister projects available. So we have another project on agile production, then the inspection and maintenance, healthcare, and agri-food, using also the robotic solutions on these target fields. And together we form a fleet of robotics digital innovation hub projects. And now we actually are making the impact on the European scale. Of course, all of us are offering that about 8 million for the demonstrations. So it's not only the Trinity demonstrations where we are aiming to do the impact, but the total perspective is that there is 5 projects together offering 40 million euros for experiments. All right. For the Trinity, what is it for you? Of course, the funding opportunities, that's what we offer, but along that we want to show you the possibilities, that there is access to the solutions which is already there. Perhaps you didn't know it yet, but we want to raise the visibility of the existing solutions. Then we want to offer the access to the wide network and expertise and knowledge through the Trinity network and digital access point. And of course, speeding up the technology transfer and shorten time to market via this community. And that's our main target with the Trinity. Okay.
Okay, I mean, I think we can directly move to the second part of your presentation.
I'm too slow, am I? I can speed
we
up.
can a bit speed up, but I think it's very important. I think it was very useful, comprehensive description of the whole.
All right. So now with the use case demonstrations, let's go more into the details. So overall theme for the open call and new use case demonstrations is the robotics for agile production. One way or another, we want to increase the agile production. We look forward a novel, well, for the applicant itself, the novel utilization of robotics, ICT, and cybersecurity applications and solutions developed and implemented by or into the SME's operational environment. So we are asking both the technology provider, system integrators, or the end users to try out new solutions. You might have some good ideas, and with the justification, we have the money to support the prototyping. Well, in order to be successful in the application phase, you have to have the roadmap to success. As a company, you have to have a vision, you have to have a roadmap, how you are planning to get to the vision of selling new goods or increasing the agility or the lowering the costs in your production. For the application itself, there has to be measurable KPIs, that how you are defining that your outcome is successful. Of course, you have to decide that what are these KPIs. As a professor on production engineering, I always looked at how the non-value added time is reduced. Of course, you can reduce the non-value added time if the scrap is reduced, if the quality is increased, if the productivity is improved. All these counts. Of course, the second step is that if you are system integrator or the technology provider, you want to build a new product that can be commercialized. That's important. We want to support that. And of course, we want that every participant gains new knowledge, competencies, and sellable items out of the Trinity funding. Next. So here is your own growth strategy. So I hope that every company has a growth strategy. So if you step 1, you have to have a vision. Step 2 is the roadmap. Can you click? So you have roadmap, you have different steps identified in your roadmap. And it makes the logical running that you have 1, 2, 3, and perhaps a couple other steps to reach the vision you have. And the vision is that you are making more money to the Europe. And what we offer from the Trinity is the proof of concept. So in order to reach the vision, you have to have a proof of concept in a step 1. And if you press 1 more, so this is what we want to support you with the Trinity. So this is the gateway to reach your vision and walk through your growth strategy or your roadmap. All right, so the lead applicant is SME or slightly bigger. So 500 persons or less, or 100 million as a turnover or less. Consortium members or the lead applicants can be the technology end users, adopters, SMEs, and also the technology providers can be the lead applicants. So the lead applicant is defined as the SME or slightly bigger. Then the members can be any stakeholder you consider important. Other SME, a large company, can be a competence center, research center, academia. But the main idea is to support the SME. So this is not the research. We start from the TRL 5 and reach TRL 7, which means a prototype. And for the open call, there can be 2 types of, you can either replicate some of the Trinity use cases, what we already have, or you can propose completely new solution which did not exist on the Trinity yet. So we are not constrained on the topic. So the topic can be of your choice, effectively. In this first phase, if you go 1 back, if you look for the modules from the Trinity, as I said, that this is the first year of the project, so our modules are not ready yet. Some of them are more or less ready, but no full implementation is still in progress. So in this call, we can only share the concept and ideas with you. Maybe in the second call, we can share more code and examples, but at this moment, they are still progressing, but there are some instructions on what we planned and how we implement it. And of course, each use case and module inside the use case has the contact information for the developer to realize that solution block if you want to replicate the idea of the Trinity site demonstration. Or you can propose completely new solution. Both are accepted and welcomed. All right, next.
I think this was redundant. Yeah, we have been through already.
Yeah. So at the moment, these are our use case demonstrations, which you can find from the website. So they are very heavily leaning on the robotics and IoT. And since most of them are in progress phase, the cybersecurity is not ready. We try to bring some of these demonstrations to include cybersecurity side. So analytics on the environment where this demonstration is working, that whether or not it's vulnerable to the attacks, for example. We welcome more demonstrations, use case demonstrations into the Trinity. They can be similar as these ones, or they can be completely different. No use case is exactly same. So if you think that your use case is similar than already existing, it can be. So no problem with it. All right, next. And of course, these modules can be found, is the same slide as well, but now there's the website, so you can check the modules that are existing already. We are all the time increasing the number of modules, but these are now more or less, well, in progress, not yet ready, but will be ready hopefully this year. Okay, next. Next. No need to.
Okay.
So that was my presentation. Thanks.
I think we moved. Thank you so much, Mina, for this excellent overview. I think now many things became clearer. Meanwhile, I have seen that a lot of questions already in the chat. Those who have joined us a little bit later, I just would like to remind that we are absolutely aware of your questions, that in the chat. There will be a dedicated time at the end of the presentation to go through one by one. I can see already that Sala, that is from our project, especially administrative support, and I could also see that Jan is also supporting, answering some question right away to you, and you can rely on the answers. Nevertheless, at the end, we're gonna go through all the questions. So just for your information for you. All right, so the Open Call itself, of course, Mina has provided you an excellent introduction to it. I'm representing the F6S platform, so the platform and the only platform where you can really apply. So I will try to give you some practical information how to do it right. First of all, the deadline. It is very important because this is a platform. The platform will not accept any application 5.1. So a minute after 5 p.m. you won't be seat time, that is Brussels time. You will not be able to submit any more your application. This is important information because we've been running really many open calls, and we are aware that very often we receive emails few minutes after 5 that I was not able to apply, and unfortunately in that case we really cannot do anything more. Your application won't be taken into account, so please do not wait until the very last moment. Only in case of any technical issue on the F6 platform. That has never happened to me yet, at least running many projects. So depends on your internet speed, etc. You need to, in the submission form, you need to upload a few documents. So keep that in mind, it may take some time. That's why it is really highly recommended not to wait to the very last moment. So this is just the information. You already know that we have for you maximum up to 300,000 equity free. Euromina has highlighted that it started from 50,000. Of course, the leader can be only SME. And the other partners, if you're gonna decide to build a consortium, you don't have to. Only SME can apply alone, but we also encourage you to build a consortium. So then the additional partners, so partner number 2 or partner number 3, cannot really exceed 40% of the total budget. Funding rate is of course 70%. You can read this in the Bible for the Open Call, which is the guidelines for the Open Call, available on our website, but you're gonna see it later on. Some information Mina has already stressed. So of course, the leader is an SME or slightly bigger. The definition exact of this Mina has said, but you can also find it in our guidelines. So this is just a redundant, you have heard already from Mina, but just to remind you that we have that 2 tracks. If you are first time for the webinar, maybe you're gonna see the second time, you're gonna remember well. So we have a 2 ways of open call track. And depends which one is for you, you're gonna have a slightly different sort of services available. But let's move to how you can really start your application process. So first of all, what Mina said, she really gave that knowledge about what we really can offer you, what we have for you. And then you have to understand what is for you. In that sense, you need to, you know, as an SME or as a leader of that application, you need to understand if we have something, if one of our modules or use cases can be useful for you, or you want to go for that, or you're going to be going for the novel solutions or something innovative that it's not existing yet in our network. Then, based on that, you have to, of course, take a decision. Are you going alone to apply for this call, or you are willing to build a consortium? And this is the point here. If you want to build a consortium, meaning, you know, you need, or you want to build, or you have to build because you don't have certain skills and competences to run that proposal that you are preparing in a successful way, you can register to our slightly building, just growing, the Digital Innovation Hub. You're gonna hear a little bit more at the end. Some of you have already registered that we're connecting with me via F6S. This is something that if you're gonna be searching for a partner, and you can send to us and an information, the profile of a competence center of a partner that you are searching for to complement your consortium, and then we may try to see if we can help you, if we have someone aligned with your needs in our networks. And then, of course, we're gonna do that matchmaking connection. This is just a very growing little step by step. We have just started, but nevertheless, we are willing to do it for you. And then, of course, once you resolve all those questions, one is from 0 to 4 steps, then you simply, of course, start your application process. So in that sense, you have to convince us in the application process why we need to invest in you, why your proposal is best, what is the proof concept that you are offering us. And of course, you need to submit it on time. As I stress, it is the very important aspect to make your application eligible. So what is exactly in that application? I don't know how many of you have started already your application on the F6S portal. Those of you that have started, you are already absolutely aware what type of question we are asking. There are in total 28 questions. And then you already also know that you can start the application process anytime. Whatever you open, you're gonna be already registered there. And whenever you are typing, everything what you are typing there and the type of answer that you are providing, they're automatically saved. So anytime you're gonna be back to the application, it's gonna be in the same status as you left last time. So what we are basically asking, the 5 sort of the chapters of that proposal in the F6S, you can really see. So I will not really go that through because it's a knowledge that, you know, it's visible here. The most important, what I need to stress here, there are a few questions that you need to upload a particular file. Where you can find those files in the application form, you always can see a link. So, for example, honor, the declaration of honor, or there's a template of proposal 3.1. Those type of things, those are the documents that you upload from our website. You have to, the declaration of honor, obviously you have to sign. And then the template, the proposal template, the work plan, so to speak, which is in the dots, you have to fill in, you have to provide all the information there, and you have to upload it to the application form. And then the question the platform gives you, it's a very simple procedure. It's like nothing really complicated. So you have to basically go through a question, and then with regards to what Mina said, you already know what we are looking for. And then this webinar probably in that sense should be very useful for you, because you already know what aspects are very important for Trinity in terms of also evaluation. That is obviously the most important is the exploitation impact. Not the most important, but of course it's at the core of your application. Then in case you're gonna be building consortium, you have to prove us the fusion of your partners. So why it was needed that you invited another partners to join you, and what are like the comprehensive skills of other partners that are building that the consortium. So we're gonna be looking at that. Of course, in terms of budget, it needs to be eligible, it needs to be breakdown to the cost, especially you will be paid, you probably already should know, you will be paid in a sum lump, so against deliverable that you're gonna be submitting to us, to the TRINITY project, to Mina. And then, so this is, you have to really make a plan, a work plan already at this stage. Nevertheless, if your project's gonna be selected to be funded, you're gonna have an extra 1 month of the comprehensive planning, where you're gonna be you're gonna have time to really tailor and adapt all your work plan. Nevertheless, at this stage already, you should have a pretty strong idea, concept, and vision why you need the money from us, and what you really how to want to use the money to reach what type of goals and concepts. And as Mina said, this is already important because we are funding the experiments from the TRL 5, so it's already something that it's a technology, validated already in the relevant environment. So this is the document that you need to submit to us. Here is like kind of like the list of content, what you can expect. This is administrative data, the executive summary, sort of abstract, objectives. And this is, as you can see, this is something that, again, you have to, in the application form, you are writing more like an overview, and then here you're going a little bit deeper with the information. So our evaluator is gonna receive like the 1-page document that's gonna be summarizing your proposal. This is to be expected between minimum 8 pages, maximum 10 pages, the total proposal, the total work plan that you should submit. Recommended submission, please submit it as a PDF. So with it's for sure, we can assure that there won't be any troubles or any text change. So PDF is highly recommended. Here you also have a link where you can get the proposal template from. The link also appears in the application form at F6S. So where to apply? There is only one platform and only one link that takes you directly to the application form. This is exactly that link that you can see in front of you. You have like a small screenshot how it looks like when you enter. You have the question. You have a short intro of the application procedure with the reminded information what you have heard already today many times. And as I said, you don't have to fill it in one day. You have a lot of time until the end of February to fill it in and to submit it. What is the timeline? So you understand a little bit, yes, what is expected. So of course, now we are in the phase of the open call. That is this, we started in the November 20 last year. Then of course, we're gonna run it until the end of February. What happened next? We're gonna start the evaluation right away in March, and that's gonna run until April. Of course, depends on the number of the application. We will try to stick to that timeline, but of course, it's a subject of change. Nevertheless, this is something that we are forecasting. We would like to start the contracting phase in May. So once all the proposals are selected, they're gonna be like external evaluators evaluating your call. We have already opened a call for evaluators. So you can expect the results by the end of May, I would say, the final results, and then those that were selected, they're gonna be invited to the contracting phase to sign the third-party subcontract agreement that is also available for your knowledge at our website. You can see the rules and terms that you will need to agree to. Then all your proposals or your project that you are developing, the experiments, they're gonna be running 3 phases. So the first phase is like a planning phase. I'm gonna go into details in a second of each of the phase. It's gonna be a planning phase, then your project gonna move to the implementation, of course, the execution of your work plan, what you were willing to invent. And then, of course, the last phase is the dissemination phase. As Mina said, the important aspect is, of course, that your experiments, your ideas can be commercialized, and there will be also time that you will be able to focus more on that commercialization strategy, probably in the last phase, dissemination. Nevertheless, it's important that you already think ahead during your proposal submission about this. So the phase 1 planning, what does it mean? So this duration of this phase is 1 month. As I said, this is the time that you're gonna have the opportunity to design a work plan, like kind of not really design, but of course like improve the design and tailoring more your activities and the resources, especially in case probably you're gonna be applying for our TRINITY solutions. Then you're gonna be in contact with the partners or responsible people of the particular demonstrators that you are interested in. And then you're gonna have that extra 1 month to adapt your work plan for the upcoming months. You can allocate in your proposal maximum up to 10% of your budget for this phase. This is important. Then the outcome of this phase, it's going to be a deliverable that is that individual implementation plan. That's how we call it. That's going to be your Bible at that moment for running your project until the end. And then what we expect is deliverable, of course, this individual implementation plan should include your project plan, your milestone, GAN, and the allocation of resources and the KPIs that you already should, of course, invent also in the submission of the project. As I said, this planning phase is to tailor, to adapt, not to write absolutely a new work plan. So just you understand. And once this is successful, once you're gonna deliver us on time this deliverable, we're gonna pay you up to 30% of the total budget that you applied for. So that's gonna be end of the phase 1, and then we're gonna move to the phase 2. Your project, your sub-project's gonna move. That's that implementation execution phase. So depends on how long is your project. As Mina said, we are funding project between 6 and 12 months. Mina, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe so. Yeah, between 6 and 12 months. So this phase will last between 4 and 10 months, the implementation phase. And while writing your proposal, you can allocate maximum 70% of your budget for this phase. So this is a core of your project, and what is expected, of course, it's expected the technical development and work plan execution, that IIP that you developed in the previous phase. During the implementation phase, especially those that applied for the TRINITY, they're going to have access to the certain support, either on the free access or the license access, as Mina mentioned. Of course, they're going to be also those dive deep workshops. So your attendance is mandatory during that phase. The expected deliverable at the end of this phase is, of course, the demonstration of the developed product and service that you have developed in form of a public video and then abstract demonstrating that can be published, focusing on the novelty of your solution. And once you're gonna deliver this to us, we're gonna pay you another 40% of the total budget that you were asking us for, which is maximum 300K. And then at the very end, you're gonna move to the last phase, that is dissemination, market phase, promotion phase. These are the synonyms. The duration of the phase is between 1, maximum 2 months. The allocation of the budget is obviously, you already did your math, so it's left 20%. You cannot allocate more to make the proposal eligible, and of course what is expected. It is expected that you're gonna disseminate the results, you're gonna disseminate what you have developed thanks to the funds and thanks to perhaps access to our tools or modules. So we expect you're gonna attend the conferences, certain events, you know, to promote, to sell your demonstration. It is expected also that you may reach already contacts with the potential partners, you know, investors, especially in the case of that commercialization strategy. They're gonna be also the participation demonstration event, probably organized by us. And then the expected deliverable, of course, is you need to prove us and the dissemination activities that you are participating in and you are realizing, and of course including that commercialization strategy of your product service. And then of course, when this is delivered to us and this is evaluated well by our evaluators, we're gonna pay you the last 30% of your total budget. So that's how it looks if you're gonna be funded. This is something that, you know, that you're gonna be going through, and you should build your the proposal template, which is built like that, is built into those 3 phases. So you're already focusing on what you need to write or implement in each of the phase in order to be successful. What you can see now is how we can support you now during the open call time. Apart from what we said, from the information you have heard already, we are always open for you and available for any questions that you have. Majority of the questions that you've been asking so far are really answered in the guidelines. That is very important, that first of all you really read the guidelines for the applicants before you're gonna start any further process. Nevertheless, we are for you, and this is what you see now. First of all, this is the sort of the home page at F6S page, the profile page of Trinity. If you're gonna register there, you can see here on the left side, you're gonna be aware of any type of event we are planning, or this is the first open call. In the future, we're gonna have the second open call. So in case, which I don't wish you, of course, you are unsuccessful or not selected during the first open call, you have to apply, you can apply for the second open call as well. But this, let's keep it for the future. Here is the address. You see www.f6s.com/TrinityDIH, where you can really get to that page. There is another sort of like a bookmark page where you can really ask questions. You can communicate particularly with me with any type of question that you're gonna write, and I'm trying to answer them on a regular basis. This is this page. So this is www.f6s.com/TrinityDIH open call 1/discuss. And here I'm always available for any type of question you may have. If I will not know answer, I will forward your question further to our team, and you can be sure that at the end of the day, your question will be answered. So here is just to sum up where to find what. The open call materials, absolutely necessary, the most important. You have to be aware of all the documents, of all the annexes. This is this link that you have to download as a very first thing before you start the application process. Then here is where you apply, where you open those 28 questions and submit all the documents that we required from you. Here, in addition, you can find frequently asked questions already that popped up since the open call was open. And then, oh, this is actually the wrong link. Sorry, I have to change it. This is not the link to the frequently asked. But if you go to the TrinityRobotics.com, www.trinityrobotics.com, you're gonna find the fact page, but we can also copy paste the correct link to the chat. And then, of course, this is the email that is working, and any type of question you have, you can always contact us. I believe, yeah, this is just to sum up what type of services you're gonna receive from us. So we are not giving you only, of course, the access to money, which is, I can imagine, is a core service from us, but of course we are giving you those use cases, demonstrators, models that you should really go through, because majority of them we are giving you free access during the time of your project. And then we are going to give you the technical tailored support that was already mentioned by Mina, so I'm not going into details. Here I already put some information in case you would like to build a consortium, but Eva, are you with us today?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, so I will not, go further. I will give you the floor to talk a little bit more of our social media, and in case someone wants to build consortium, who to talk to.
Thank you for the introduction. So on this slide, you will find links to all our social media and our websites so that you wouldn't have to look in multiple places. Key information on this open call is available on Trinity website, and it's also application form itself is on F-Success website, and you can find all the links. If you browse our website, you can follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, or subscribe to newsletter. Subscription to newsletter pops up when you visit the website. We will have more open calls, so it's worth subscribing. And for this particular one, if you have any questions that you would like to get written answer to, you can email dedicated address opencall@trinityrobotics.eu, just copy it from here. And we wanted to help you a bit with the consortiums. So in case you are looking for partners, please email me with short introduction, and I'll see how many interested companies I get, and maybe we'll build a matching tool. If it's necessary, if it's just a few of you, I might just introduce everyone over email. So naturally, you consent to me disclosing your information to potential partners if you send me a short introduction of your organization. And let's see how it goes from there. So if there are any questions, please use these links.
Yes, and you should just identify also like what type of partners, in case you are the one searching for consortium, because we have two cases so far. I've been contacted already by people that want competence centers or people that want to support SMEs, but obviously they cannot be leaders, so they will not be able to apply for the call unless they're gonna find an SME that would be willing to collaborate with them. Their services, their competences could be used. So they can be the two different sides. We can receive, you can send those information to us as an SME that are missing some additional competences that would like to find in competence center, research academia, etc. If you are those competence centers and you are interested but you don't have SME, please also contact us, because that's the pool of different interests we should have, and then we will be able to do that matchmaking, hopefully. And this is our website that you can find all the information.